Hello everyone, I'm RiverFox and welcome to the channel, and this is the Twine Peaks Endurance build series. This will be a series of videos which I will showcase each of the amplifiers in Twine Peaks and the builds that I have set up for them. Now this will work in both your Storm Shield defenses and your endurance runs, and some of the designs are my own unique designs, some I have got from other YouTubers online. So if I do know who the author of those designs is, I will link them in the description down below. There will also be a link in the description for the Twine playlist, which will cover all of the videos in this series. And there will also be some links of my Discord and Twitter accounts, so if you do have any free time, please do check them out. These have taken a really long time to build and test and get everything set up, and it's going to take a really long time to go through each of the videos as well. So if you do buy anything from the Fortnite store, please consider using code RiverFox, as it will help me out a great deal. And if you do go on to enjoy the content, then don't forget to hit that like down below and smash that subscribe before you go. If you turn on the notification bell, then you will always get updated of all my content when it comes out. But without further ado, we are going to get straight into the Twine Peaks Endurance build. Okay, now this is the last amp build in the Endurance series, and this is the ramp amp. Now apologies if my voice does sound a little bit husky at the moment. I have spent the last 5 hours going through each of every single amp and going through all of the builds, so my voice is starting to go a little bit. But this is what would be, in my case, the B amplifier, which is to the east of the map, just over here. And this is my design. Now, for this one, you are going to get the spawn point will be mainly around this area, although you can get the odd little one which can sort of spawn around down here. Now you will get a lava ball over at that point, and you will also get a lava ball over at this spot here as well. So because most of them are going to be spawning from here, then they are going to be heading towards this, and our amplifier is literally just behind those walls, just up a little bit from there. So they will be coming through this direction. I do have a couple of our ceiling drop traps up here, just to catch any main things that do come along these two sections, because any of these then are going to fall down, go all the way down here and kill anything, sort of, or at least damage them terribly along this point. So I've got a couple of broadsides set up along here and over this side as well, just to help to catch any as they spawn. We do also have a few along this spot. These ones aren't necessarily as important, but I would definitely put those three at the back, because at least they will be bouncing back and forth. This bit of block off here, this is only for our other amplifier, that one over there, so you don't need to worry about that one. So I'm gonna go over this bit first. This is the shortest section of it, and then I'll get back to the main spawn there. So if they do come down along this way, then we have got these half walls in, these edited half walls, just to keep them to the left hand side, as they come up they will get hit by this wall launcher, which will fling them back down there. If they do get any further up, then again another wall launcher which will fling them back down. I don't know why, but some of the smaller husks do tend to like standing sort of at this point and bashing against this. I'm not entirely sure why, but because they are so low down sort of at this point, the launcher doesn't actually get them. So it is a bit of a frustration, but there's not really much you can do on that. If they do get up, then they will get to this point, which brings us over to our main one. And let's let this lava ball go. Okay, so we do have like a double ramp wide here. So I blocked one half off with this broadside just to keep them over to the left. And we got some more broadsides on these two squares here. Now again, we have our edited walls in here to keep them over to this side, because our wall launchers then will fling them back down over along these spots down here. Now we have some ceiling zappers on the tops of these three squares, just because we have a lot of block off on the other sides of these walls, and we don't want these smashers and things to be standing here bashing at these walls. Now you could possibly replace these with gas traps, as they would be trying to stay at this point as long as they can to bash them down. Then gas traps would also be quite effective in this spot as well. But if they get to this next square along, again we have another wall launcher to fling them over there. And we do have some wooden floor spikes as well, which are going to be causing damage every time they come up, and across these they will be taking more damage. Next tile across then, this one doesn't tend to get used as much, because by the time they've made it this far, they tend to be over at this square here, which I could actually, now that I think about it, if I put that in there, will make them come this bit closer, so it will actually, yeah, do a lot more damage. And because I've got a few structures left, I've got 6 left, so if I place that on there, that will help as well. It might get destroyed by smashers, but it will at least do some sort of damage and effect to them anyway. Right, so they'll get hit by this one then, which will fling them off anyway back down there. And we got these to cause some damage on this. We have another wall launcher then, that is only going to fling them to here now. Now before it was going to fling them all the way back down there, but I don't think it's too much of a problem, because we're going to get this one used more anyway, so at least this one won't get as used up as quickly as it would have been anyway. We do have another ceiling zapper up there. I do have a couple up here as well, just to catch anything else that does sort of try to stay at this spot, but they shouldn't do because of all of the wooden floor spikes that we've got anyway. So this bit then is where we join into this side, and we have another wall launcher here. Now I need to put that down to that actually, because otherwise having it the other way, it will be too tall actually, and it won't be as effective. So at least having it low then is going to fling them straight over the top. So that's there. Now we have here underneath this is actually a blank space under there, which we got some block off and some things under there. So I blocked that bit all off so that we could force them up into this part here. And of course they're going to get hit by this launcher, and we have some tire traps here which will be going all the way down this these stairs and across these 2 tiles. So this launcher is going to fling them into this spot. Now I did have some edited walls down in here like this, but I found that they were getting in the way really, and stopping the house from getting flung where I wanted. So with this one now, this will literally fling them over to this tile, and because we got these 2 floor freeze traps, then it will freeze them on the spot. They will take some damage as they are going. If they head back out this way, then of course we've got another one to cause some more damage. And then we have a tar pit then with a launcher, which will fling them over here, which is going to be flung from that one over here, and then that one will fling them out and down here. If they don't quite get flung that far, then we have a second launcher there, which again will fling them out through there. So that is that. We've got some more tire traps up on the ceiling in here. because they are really good for your ceiling damage and things. If they do get up the top of this ramp, then we do have a freeze trap here, which will freeze them on the spot, and our launcher, which is going to launch them back down there again and cause them to have to recycle that way. And of course we've got some ceiling electric field, which is going to do damage while they are frozen in this spot. If they, I mean, 9 out of 10 husks do not make it through past this spot. The only things that really have ever got past this spot is the smashers and the mini bosses, which would tend to sort of head straight for this anyway. If anything does get round here, then we got some broadsides. We have another wall launcher for any smaller husks, which again is going to lob them straight into there. And we've got some wooden floor spikes then, which is going to catch and give some more damage there, with more ceiling electric fields above. We have a final tar pit trap here to slow them down before they, especially the smashers, before they actually get to charge at these walls on here. And we have a wall lights, which is going to stun them as well. Now, if I do know that I do have a smashers or mini bosses coming in this wave, then I will edit this open before they actually get there, because as long as it's edited open, here's a brilliant tip for you. If you get the mini boss coming and this is edited open, then the mini boss will tend to run towards this direction, or jog as he slowly does, and he will fall down here, and then he will turn around and he will jog over this way towards this rock, and then he will turn around and he will come up this way, and generally he will make his way up here. If I am standing over on this spot here, which is my smasher bridge, then he may go to this corner, but then he will literally turn around and he will come to this spot. He might go over here and then come back again, but he will always return to this spot, and he will always drop down, and he will repeat this cycle. So as long as that piece up the top is left edited open like that, he will repeat that cycle. If you have it like that, so if you close it up after he's gone through, or if you don't have it edited and he smashes it and destroys it, then he will roam around this section, destroying all of your tunnels. So really, really good tip. Have this piece edited out, and every single time that I have done and tested this endurance, he will head for this spot and he will repeat that cycle down to that wall, down to the bottom of the ramp, up here, over to there, back over here, and just go round and round. And you don't need to worry about him. You can do whatever else you like. He will just keep repeating that cycle, but you must have that piece edited like that. I do have a small lighthouse built on this one. Nothing fancy. It's literally just so we have something built around the amplifier for the smashers, because again, if any smashers do come through there, they would tend to automatically charge towards this, and because they realize they can't destroy anything there, then they would tend to head over to this. As long as I am standing in this spot over here, then they will head over to this, and they will start repeating and recycling down here, getting knocked down at every point. And if they do ever get far enough, which very rarely on that wave, if they ever get far enough to the end of this, then I will stand over here with this edited ready, and as soon as they land on this spot here, I will edit that piece and they will fall down. And if you edit it straight back so that it's all connected, then they will recycle themselves, they will fall down here, and they will just repeat and go up again. So that is pretty much the last bit. There is nothing. So that is pretty much everything with the ramp build. The only other little bit that we have got here, we do have a little bit of block off, because these three tiles here, this one and the wall piece down there and the wall piece under here, is where our 3 wall launchers are on the other side. And so this is where I will place my base. Now underneath this we do have the edited floor piece and a cone, which I've put the cone heading towards the northeast, so it will prevent them trying to smash that wall or that wall down there. This one under here, that again is facing the northeast, and we have the edited floor under that. I only put a floor piece on it just so that it's that little bit easier to get around when you've got your constructor loadout, because sometimes you will walk on these and you might fall in and you're getting stuck and what have you. So I just put a floor piece just so I can, you know, get to it easier. Exactly the same for this one with the edited floor piece and the edited cone on there, and it is exactly the same for these 3 as well, where we have the edited floor piece and the edited cone. I did at one point, I did have another piece put in there, but it's not really necessary. You don't need it down there at all. And because of all the launchers that are on the other side over here, nothing really tends to break or smash any of these structures anyway, so they will never get through that point. I always leave that closed just in case, because unless the mini boss is coming, then you're better off keeping that closed just to make sure no husks can actually get through. I have one more piece up here, which is just an edited cone boxed in, which is just behind our wall launcher, which flings them into this section, so that's just an extra bit of protection there. We don't have a massive lobber shield. Sometimes in the wave 3 when you will get a lot of lobbers, but because I have got all of these anti-air traps set all along this row, you might get a little bit of damage on some of these squares. I mean, it perhaps may be better to move these over to the front row, but yeah, you might get a few bit of damage from them when they are standing down there, and they will literally be lobbing up towards this shield, and because they can't lob it quite high enough, it will actually hit the underside of these, and you might get a bit of damage on there. But because we've got our base set, it strengthens all this up anyway, so it's not really an issue, not really a problem. Any that do happen to be able to lob over the top of this shield, then they get taken out by the anti-air traps, and yeah, that's it, all done. So yeah, that is our last final build. That is all of my endurance builds done and explained. I do hope that you have found this series useful. If you have, don't forget to drop a like down below, smash that subscribe before you go, and if you turn on the notification bell, then you will always get updated of all my content when it comes out. If you do buy anything from the Fortnite store, please consider using code RiverFox, as it will help me out a great deal. And if you do get the time, do check out the Discord and Twitter accounts. The links for those will be in the description down below, along with the link for the Twine playlist, which will cover all of the endurance amplifiers. And as I'm slowly getting through them on the second account, my Storm Shield defense is solo as well. So I am so glad that all the series is done. My voice is absolutely killing me, but I hope it did help. And until the next time, I hope you have a lovely day and stay safe, my friends.